Cue welcome to my YouTube channel. We are going to talk about Real Madrid's tactical setup yesterday, but I want to focus on Jude Bellingham and Arda Güler and how they lined up and how Jude Bellingham played that 8 role, played like an absolute complete midfielder. He was terrific. But before then, we've got FIFA's men's 11, the best 11s nominees, and the goalkeeper, of course, we got Courtois in there. So that's fantastic. So we have to say well done to Courtois on that one. So the other goalkeepers, of course, are Alisson, Bunu, Costa, Di Gregorio, Donnarumma, Fabio, John, Martinez, Mendy, Meret, Mier, Manuel Neuer, Oblak, David Raya, Sanchez, Simon, Sommer, Villa, I think he plays for, is it Roma? Chesney, Weverton, I don't know who that is, and Williams, the South African goalkeeper. For me personally, last season is Donnarumma if they go by that. Raya was fantastic, but yeah, Courtois is always up there. Real Madrid also have nominees in the attackers. Now you've got Kylian Mbappe who's there, and you have Vinicius Jr. Now the other nominees are Al Dawasi, which we know, Al Hilal, Barcola, Dembele, Desiree Doué, Guirassy, Gyökeres, Haaland, Enrique, Isak, Harry Kane, Kvaratskhelia, Lewandowski, Martinez, of course Mbappe, Leo Messi. Leo Messi. Are we being for real? Leo Messi. Leo Messi or FIFA. Hey FIFA, what you guys are doing, you need to stop. How is Messi nominated for this one? There's no way Lionel Messi is nominated for this. What am I seeing? Okay, yeah. He achieved what he did with Inter Miami recently. Leo Messi though, 2025. Hey guys, somebody needs to talk to me. This has to stop. He's FIFA's son. When they said that Lionel Messi is FIFA's son, he is the FIFA project. It has to be. How can Lionel Messi be in this? Anyway, he's there. Pedro, Rafinha deserve to be there. Retegui, Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, I know people are going to get onto me because I'm going to say, I'm not going to say much about Ronaldo and why is it. I think Ronaldo's only there because of he's getting close to the 1,000 goals. But if we're being real, Ronaldo should not be on here and Lionel Messi should not be on here. There's people with higher performance levels than these two. So I don't understand this nomination right there. Ronaldo and Messi thing. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. Why has Ronaldo even won for RNC as well? It's crazy. It's crazy. Mo Salah, of course, deserves to be there. Vinicius Jr. and Lamine Yamal. Yeesh. This one's going to be tough, man. This one is definitely going to be tough, obviously, including wingers as forwards as well as attackers. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Who do you think should be in it? Obviously, Kylian Mbappe scored the most goals. Lamine Yamal had a terrific season. Rafinha has been fantastic, so he could be included as well. Mo Salah, terrific season. Isak was good for Newcastle as well. Then you got Dembele. This one is tough, man. I'd probably say, based off the whole season, you'd probably have Lamine Yamal, Kylian Mbappe, and Ousmane Dembele. Desiree Doué is the closest I could see, and Mo Salah to that. But Mo Salah, second half of the season, didn't do it for me. And winning the Champions League, scoring 2 goals, Desiree Doué is just outside that. Obviously, you got Harry Kane as well. I mean, it's difficult, but that's my pick. In terms of defenders, you have Kubarsi, Kukureya, Davies, who had an injury, of course, Di Lorenzo, Diaz, Ruben Diaz, Dumfries, Guerrero, Hakimi. Yeah, Hakimi has to be in there. Højsens, terrific. Konate had a fantastic season with Liverpool last season. Koulibaly, Koundé, Gabriel Magalhaes, Marquinhos, Nuno Mendes. Has to be in there as well. Otamendi, Pacho, Rudiger, Saliba, Silva, Upamecano, and Virgil van Dijk. So first of all, I'm having Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. Those are the two I'm definitely having there. Gabriel Magalhaes had a fantastic season, but didn't win anything. So I don't think you can put him in there. Pacho, won the Champions League. I'm gonna put Pacho, and they have a centre back. Ay ay ay. Will we put Van Dijk? This one's difficult. Hoyson was good for Bournemouth. I mean, this was difficult. Konate had a terrific season. Marquinhos as well, one for PSG. Saliba was on and off. I think Gabriel was better than Saliba the whole of last season as well. This one's difficult, man. I don't even know who to pick on this one. Upamecano, terrific for Bayern Munich as well. You know what, yeah? To make it safe, I'm going to go for Marquinhos. Just because PSG won the Champions League and he'd been there for so many years and finally won it as club captain. So, yeah. On to the midfielders. Now we have Arias. Jude Bellingham. Another Real Madrid player that has made it. Fantastic, fantastic. We got Jude Bellingham in there. Moise Caicedo. De Jong, Frenkie. Bruno Fernandes for Chelsea. Gravenberch. Joshua Kimmich, McAllister, Tomene, yeah, Jamal Musiala, Joao Neves, Ruben Neves, Ruben Neves, decent man from Al Hilal. You got Michael Olise, Cole Palmer. I guess what they're using these guys as midfielders. I didn't know they weren't attackers, but I do get it. Pedri, Declan Rice. Fabian Ruiz, Bernardo Silva, Valverde, Wirtz, and Vitinha. Okay, first of all, let's establish that Vitinha's in there. That we have to put Vitinha in there. Second of all, let's establish, based off that whole campaign, this one is tough, man, because you're only going to select 3, right? You cannot leave though. Okay, Michael Olise, because if Michael Olise even was a winger, he probably wouldn't be in that team. So we can leave him out. Joao Neves was superb. Musiala had a terrific, season as well. Gravenberch was flawless for Liverpool, but he came up short against PSG. So, Pedri came up short as well. But Pedri had a campaign and a half, man. Pedri and Caicedo, just because I don't think Chelsea were they were playing Conference League. I wouldn't have Caicedo in there. McTominay had a superb season as well. But I'm including Champions League in this. So I'd go for Pedri, Vitinha. And for me, it's basically between Bellingham, Gravenberch, and Neves. It's so difficult, man. It's so difficult, this one. Like I said, Gravenberch out of the running because they were beaten by PSG. So it's between Bellingham and Joao Neves. So, of course, Jude Bellingham. And now we're going to talk about Real Madrid tactically, how Jude Bellingham was incorporated as an 8 with Arda Güler, almost like a double pivot, and how Real Madrid used Jude Bellingham to kind of bypass the press. They play with a mid-block Alaves, and I think Jude Bellingham was absolutely terrific. Now, this, like I said, this black piece marker on the board is the football. A lot of the times you had Courtois who would start that attack and play it into Aurelien Tchouameni. So most of the time what you'd see is Valverde and Valdepeñas pushed up super high. In build-up, this is what you had a lot of the time. This is Aurelien Tchouameni, you have Rudiger, and then you've got Asensio. You've got Arda Güler receiving the ball from here and Jude Bellingham, who found himself here a lot of the time. So you had these two dropping in deeper. So what areas did we see Jude Bellingham play in? A lot of the times defensively and offensively, Jude Bellingham was in this zone. Now, that's crazy because a lot of the time we find Jude Bellingham over here and over here. Most of the time he wasn't in there. And how did that change Real Madrid's attacks? One thing it did is it allowed these two, which played as wingbacks when they were attacking from deep, to push high up, allowing Vinicius Jr. to come inside there. Of course, we know how Kylian Mbappe loves to operate, and also allows Rodrigo to come inside there. So it kind of occupies those half spaces a bit more. And like I said, Alaves are quite aggressive. They've conceded the most fouls in La Liga. They do kind of press towards the ball. So this area here would always be condensed by Real Madrid players. That's for sure. So one thing we saw again, like I said in the build-up, was that Jude Bellingham, whenever he had the ball, Real Madrid were trying to play these passes out to Valverde or Valdepeñas. Now, Valdepeñas played really well. I think for a Castilla player coming into the team, I think he kept it simple. You know, a lot of his passes were here, here, here. Simple passes, not outrageous. Didn't try to overdo it. Did what he needed to do. Good performance. You had Jude, more or less, with Arde dictating the play. Now, Arde wasn't as involved as I would have liked him to be in from this area to this area. So after the first third of, build up, I felt like I wanted him to be here in the last third, linking up a bit more. And I think that's where Real Madrid kind of fell off. With the goal, you had Jude Bellingham surging forward, playing the ball to Kylian Mbappe. So Kylian Mbappe was found here. So obviously, Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe were interchanging a lot there. And sometimes, not a lot, but you saw Rodrigo drift in this space, almost play like a 10. And Kylian Mbappe, 1v1, beat the defender, scored the goal. But again, it was interchanging between those two, sorry. And then this is a side of Madrid that needs work. I'll even put it on the board. Needs work. Why does this side need work? Because every time, I don't know if you noticed, Real Madrid switched that pass into Valverde or Rodrigo. They only use this side to recycle the ball back either to Arde, Asensio, who might come short there, and switch it to the other side to then attack. So Real Madrid's focus on their attack is the left side. They don't really try and build up attacks on the right. I don't know if you've seen it. Rodrigo did get in quite early on the right side, just as he did against Man City, and had a shot that went wide. But apart from that, what else came from this side? Hence why you always see Rodrigo just like, let me just drift in here, let me just drift in here, let me just drift in there. But then that becomes a bit cramped sometimes, especially with the fact that they don't interchange as much with Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. So for me, again, like I said, it's a bit puzzling to me as to why they don't really use their left side. I think it could also be a thing of that left-footed right winger, because when Mastantuano was there at the beginning of the season, it seemed very balanced. Yes, he's 18. Yes, he's young. But the attacks seem balanced. They seem to be more of an attacking threat from this side. So now that's why, for me, with that influence of Jude Bellingham, it allowed Madrid to attack from deeper, but also be much better in possession. A lot of the time, you don't see it as much because when teams press Jude Bellingham, not that he's press resistant, is that most of his qualities that he possesses are not in this area of the pitch. It's more up here. But he showed a different side to him. Also, defensively, I think he was so strong. Very, very strong, as he always is. But we've seen him tracking all the way back. We also seen him make long bursting runs into the box, especially late on in the game. We also see Jude Bellingham press this area a lot of the time when he found himself in this zone, which he often does. He was the perfect 8 in this area. Really was. Asserted himself physically, and of course, many times, and this is the other side of the game, you had Tchouaméni that would join in, and then Real Madrid, of course, would look a bit more like this. You had Jude Bellingham pressed up there, and then you had Arde there, and then Tchouaméni was also involved in this physical battle in that midfield, which is always going to be a physical battle with Alaves. Arde wasn't at his best, however, he was steady. And again, Madrid are missing that composer, the Toni Kroos, the Luka Modric. Arda can become that one day, maybe just not now, but that was where Madrid kind of found a balance. The problem was when Madrid defended, they didn't defend that way. This is how Madrid seemed to line up more as a defensive team. Rodrigo dropping there, Arde, Tchouaméni, Jude Bellingham, and of course, you'd had Vini a bit here and Kylian Mbappe there. Now, Kylian Mbappe himself was not necessarily defending. So that goes to beg the question, was he fully fit? I don't think so. He was very passive. Vinny sometimes would walk. And I don't know why Vinicius Jr. does that sometimes. Sometimes he just walks back. Sometimes he's the most offside player. Yes, you know, he played a big part in the second goal, the assist. Arde, which is super pass as well to Vinny for that one. But those two were quite passive. It meant, again, a lot of work from Jude, which he delivered on. A lot of work from Tchouaméni and Arde. Rodrigo worked his socks off as well yesterday, and we have to give it to him. Valverde is ever so reliable, always going to work. That was more or less the defensive positioning from Real Madrid. And if you watch the game over, you'll see that that was how they lined up. And they tend to line up like this defensively a lot of the time. You do see it. Maybe it's to spare Vinny, Mbappe. Personally, for me, I don't agree with Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. being two players that don't work back. At least one. At least Vinicius Jr. And yes, he does do it, but he picks when he wants to. If you're going to allow Kylian Mbappe to just be up front and be fresh and don't work too much, I understand. But you don't want two players doing it. It's just not... In modern day football, for me personally, it doesn't work. Does that mean Vinicius Jr. is lazy? No, because I do see him press, so he's not a lazy player. However, sometimes he has tendencies to just walk about. Is that maybe because he's trying to preserve energy? Yes, maybe. But again, having two players doing that, sometimes defensively, it doesn't help Real Madrid. Like, I'm telling you the honest truth. And when we're looking at how Madrid often line up as well, I think it's a case of finding the correct balance. They've not found that yet. 25 minutes-ish, you know, scored 1-0 up, nothing else. Just kind of let the half, you know, drift by. And that was a problem. It's because there was no assertion in this area and not pushing Alaves back, camping them a bit more, 10 yards deeper and sustaining attacks. Now, Kylian Mbappe is a phenomenon. He has scored 70 goals in a year and a half for Real Madrid, which is mind-boggling. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And when you see most of his chances, they're not clear chances. He scores a lot of half chances, and I don't think people realize that about a lot of Kylian Mbappe's goals. On the flip side, he should score a lot of the easier chances, but he doesn't like making runs in there as much. If he did, he'd probably double his tally for the season. I'm being honest. He scores a lot of half chances or goals that most strikers can't score. In the world, I mean, the goal he scored yesterday, I probably think Isak when he was at Newcastle, dribbling, 1v1, elimination, boom, goal. You don't see a lot of strikers scoring that kind of goal. Even Erling Haaland scores many goals, but not by 1v1. I'll take you on and boom, finish. You don't see that a lot. He's a phenomenon. Like, it's absolutely, like, it doesn't make any sense. He's coming for the Ballon d'Or this season. He is coming for it. Everyone in this team needs to make sure that Kylian Mbappe wins the Ballon d'Or. They have a role to play. He doesn't care about that. He's going for the Ballon d'Or. And yesterday he had another chance to score 2 goals. But Gonzalo failed to pick Kylian Mbappe out with a one
en district, la passe de Gonzalo là.
2v1 situation. Now I don't know if it's because he panicked. I don't know if it's because he thought, oh, it's Kylian Mbappe, you know, I need to pass it. I don't know if it's because he lacks quality on the ball. But one thing is for sure, he hasn't shown that much in the little minutes that he has had for Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe's reaction says it all. He was so angry. And you can't really mess up that pass. Let's be real. You can't mess it up. Because the defender's central. So even if you play it early, play it directly to Kylian Mbappe. Which he tried to play early. And he played it to the defender. If you run with the ball and commit the defender to either come to you or you go alone, once the defender comes, you pass it to Kylian Mbappe. 1v1, he's closer to goal. It's fine. It just seemed like a nervous move. Like, I don't know what to do. Let me just pass it. And that made it even worse. But those are the kind of things Alonso needs to look at and give Endrick a chance, man. Because last season, Endrick, with the little time he had the biggest impact. I think he was the highest scorer in Copa del Rey. So Gonzalo's been playing more minutes and he's not had much of an impact. And he's not going to get the minutes he wants to get at Madrid. That's the truth. Is he Alonso's favorite between those two? Yeah, there's bias. There is bias. He likes him. Is it because he's Brazilian? Enrique and the other one Spanish? I don't know. However, he likes him. That's his player. He's come at the Club World Cup. He was superb. but he's not done anything in the first team. And carrying on to do those kind of things, it's not going to help him a lot. But let me know what you guys think about this. Anyway, subscribe, like, turn on notifications. Cupola. I'll see you soon.